What's going on, everyone? DeBears here with another build video, and today I'm going over my Solar Warlock Scorch build, and we'll be focusing on the Dawn Chorus exotic helmet and the either Skyburner's Oath or Tommy's Matchbook exotic weapons. So let's head over to the mods, and right now this is probably my favorite build to use in the game, just because it has the potential to blow up every enemy around you and scorching everyone you can see, which is pretty sweet. Some of the mods, just like most of the other builds I've been throwing out, you don't really need the artifact mods to make this build work. It really only enhances it as whatever mods you have equipped at the current moment. But I mean, monochromatic maestro helps. The elemental orbs really helps for this, since you can add more scorch. But if we're not talking about the artifact mods, you really only want to have some solar weapon surges. And since we'll be using Daybreak for this, I think it's useful to have power preservation, since the roaming supers got a buff to the amount of orbs they can create, and this just lets you create that many more orbs. I don't know how many more, but I mean, you'll see on the feed how many orbs you create just for how many kills you're getting, and it's pretty insane, and that always helps your teammates, of course, when you're making a lot more orbs on your super. Now, Dawn Chorus, it used to be a pretty good option for boss TPS, but when Daybreak got nerfed to the ground for some reason, I still don't understand why Bungie just nerfed the heck out of Daybreak. It never was really a top tier option. You never saw raid groups of all 6 people using Daybreak for a DPS phase, but I mean, it is what it is, and they nerfed the super right into the ground, along with Dawn Chorus, sadly. It used to be one of my absolute favorite exotics to use. But, I mean, now, the improved Scorch and the Scorch capabilities of this helmet make it pretty fun to use. And let's head over to the weapons. For Skyburners, to apply the Scorch, you need to fire it from the hip. And I know firing a scout rifle from the hip isn't really that fun, but with the amount of Scorch that you're going to be able to deal to all these enemies and all the explosions, it's well worth it. And with Tommy's Matchbook, if you're using this build in any lower tier content and you're feeling like you want to go more risky, then Tommy's Matchbook would be the gun for you to use, since it's got the trait Heat Sink, which when you sustain fire with this, you overheat the gun and you actually end up lowering your health, kind of like Touch of Malice. Since the change Touch of Malice, this gun lowers your health a whole lot more than Touch of Malice. But if you have the catalyst for it, it does help with your recovery, but it's still, your health goes down so fast with this gun. It's not really the best to use for anything other than just doing random strikes or playing Gambit or Crucible. I seem to do pretty well with this build, Tommy's Matchbook and Crucible, because the improved Scorch is pretty well. Since the Scorch activates pretty quickly with this weapon, if you're using this in Crucible, I would definitely go towards Tommy's Matchbook, unless it's a far away map and use Skyburners. But Tommy's Matchbook in this build is pretty good for Crucible. So let's head over to the subclass. We got Daybreak, of course, but if you're doing a Grandmaster, you might want to go with Well instead. And for the melee ability, I tend to gear towards Celestial Fire rather than the Snap. The Snap is cool, but I don't know, just the capabilities that Celestial Fire has is just so much more than the Snap. The range on this is so much better than the Snap. And it's just being able to scorch targets super far away is just, it's unmatched, really. And for the grenades, using the incendiary grenade, since it deals the most scorch to other targets compared to all the other grenades. Now, yes, the solar grenade might be better in some situations, but I mean, the enemy has to stay in the grenade to apply all the scorch. And with this one, it just deals all the scorch right away. There's no waiting, it just happens, which is why I tend to gear towards this one. And for the aspects, I have Icarus Dash on, just because it's a cool mobility tool, and Heat Rises, just so we can gain more ability energy. Since we're not using any of these other grenades that Touch of Flame enhances, there's really no reason to use it. So for the fragments, we got Ember of Char to spread Scorch from the ignitions, since there'll be a lot of ignitions. And Final Blows with your Solar Super cause targets to ignite, which is a huge kicker for this. That really improves your Daybreak. And Ember of Ashes, you apply more Scorch, of course, for all of the possibilities of Scorch for this build. Definitely need this one. And Ember of Eruption, where your ignitions have increased area of effect. Just piggybacking off of all of the other things we have going on here. It's a perfect storm for Scorch City. So right here we have this poor soul. As you can see, oh, well, at least he's not taking any scorch damage. That's cool. Let's try another enemy. We can see Scorch going on. Oh, there he goes. 686. Just gonna... You really just need to fire it at the ground. And then just look at all these, look at all the crit numbers going on here. Everyone just burning like crazy. There's an ignition. Let's try this. There's our crit scorch numbers, and there's the crit ignition number. There's our yellow numbers for the scorch. As you can see, we're just igniting all the enemies that are able to and scorching everyone around. I mean, I don't even need to hit the targets, rather than just shoot it right into the ground and just watch everyone burn. Let's see, where's that Minotaur? So I can show you this grenade. Just like that, we got an ignition. Bam. And if you get all these kills while you're in the air, the heat rises. Just get all your abilities back that much faster. Let's go ignite these guys. There's 22,000. So there you go. As you can see, it's pretty easy to just use. They're really just shooting this weapon in the ground. Let's showcase Daybreak a little bit. There goes all the explosions. Just look at that. Just absolutely clearing out the room with one daybreak shot. There goes that guy. Yeah. So that's the build. And just strafe this first now. But hope you guys like it. I'll put a dim link for this build in the description. And if you enjoy using it, toss a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.